So a little off the cuff comments about assignment 1, just to kind of enhance what you're trying to do. And since you don't really get any lecture time per se, which is really critical in music, it's handed down orally, literally and figuratively. Once you get, for instance, in your pinky shape, that one chord triad in root position down, I said A, right? Make sure you're saying to yourself 1, 3, 5. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Confirm it in the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. 1, 3, 5. Do, mi, sol. A, C sharp, E. And you got it. A part of your brain has to be visually seeing 1, 3, 5. Literally, not just figuratively. 1, 3, 5. When you invert and put 1 on top, you again have to reorganize the language of what you're doing. Even though you've drawn it out and you can say this is a second or a first inversion triad, okay, but on the rubber hitting the road, your brain has to say 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, and descending, because trust me, you'll be surprised. It's harder saying it, not just doing it. 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 1, 5, 3, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1. Saying it out loud, not necessarily, but when you're playing it, 1, 3, 5 in the brain, be saying it. Literally be saying it, not just, okay, I understand it, no, say it. 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3, 3, 1, 5, 3, invert that to second inversion, yeah. 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Have to know what's in your hand. Otherwise, then you do become a stupid guitar player and play shapes, and you don't know what's going on, and you can't enhance what you're doing, or change it skillfully. You might stumble across a rhythm or put your finger in the wrong place accidentally, but you won't know where you're at and where you're trying to go. Very important to be thinking that while you're playing something. It is a part of playing music. It's not just joy and wonder about, ooh, look at me. Until something like repertoire has become so ingrained that then you can literally turn off everything and just your body will do it. Well, that's cool too, but even in those moments, you don't want to turn off. You got to have the brain working. I tend to get a little out of tune into something, and then it becomes gray. I can get out of it quick, but it's very easy to get lost and having to find your way back to doing something. So anywho, 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. 3, 1, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 3, 1. That was much harder to do. I don't even know if I can do it again. See, I'm already thinking about it. 3, 1, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 3, 1. Ascend, sure. 1, 3, 5, 3, 5, 1, 5, 1, 3. But descend, 3, 1, 5. That's the second inversion. 1, 5, 3. First inversion. 5, 3, 1. Root position. So that's the opposite of doing the assignment. It's doing it. Thinking of it descending, beginning on the descend. 3, 1, 5, 1, 5, 3, 5, 3, 1. I have to think my way through that, and I'm not doing it very fast. That was literally about as fast as I could do it. I can play it all day, but to say that I'm as good mentally as I am physically, it would be false, because I can run through those inversions, get fast enough for not practicing, but mentally to know what's there and to see it and to be able to say it, it's a different story. And until you're very good at doing that, you'll not be very good at playing guitar, because you'll always be wondering what it is that you're doing instead of actively knowing I'm doing this. There's a lot more confidence there, and you'll learn a lot faster. And then just a quick tip. When you go to the 4 chord, it's the same thing, literally on the 4 chord root position. Fa, La, Do. In the 1 chord, the first inversion is that shape. Well, on the 4 chord, the reason why it's not that is because of the B string, so we have to move up. I'm just talking purely about shapes and relaying the fact that what you did for the 1 chord root position, first inversion, second inversion, is the same thing on the 4 chord, with the exception that on the B string is added to the picture, if you will. That note moves up and makes the shape look different, but at each shape, the root positions are exactly the same. And therefore, you can make an assumption now on guitar, the nature of guitar. If you start a major chord with your pinky first, if you're not landing on the B string, if you do, guess what? It has to move up. This is how your 2/4 shape. Otherwise, it would have been this. And with the flat 5, yeah, love it. Sounds good to me. But so just making some observation about what it is that you're doing. Other things can be learned from it. That's a major triad, I know, because of the shape, and I guessed on A and I got right. But anywhere. So relating to the major minor pattern, 1 chord, major, 4 chord, major, 5 chord, major. That's kind of getting into too past of my point. But look at when you're doing the 4 chord, and I'll end on this. You want to be able to play something like that. Likewise with the 1. And on the 5 chord, as you've probably figured out, there's only one option. I mean, there's this too, technically, so there's 2 options. You want to be able to play the inversions on the 5 chord, because you can't do it in root position, and so it has to be inverted. And the 2 shapes you get. It's like the 1 chord, 4 chord. Whoops. Something like that. Kind of making up a quick chord progression. But so just recognize those shapes are the same, with the exception of the B string. That'll help demystify some of the fretboard too. You can start to rely on shapes more and see that major triad shape without the B string is modified by having to move it up. And we play it that way. If I can get it. But otherwise it would have been that, just like in our pinky shape.